sophomore year. Like you said, allergic reaction to a common sports drink. I'm sure everyone has. And it clicked in me, and I was like, hey, I shouldn't be bursting out in hives. I should be able to breathe. Why is this product that I've been drinking my entire life, thinking it's making me better, actually making me worse?
Welcome back to another episode of The Burn. I am Ben Newman, and I know you've become accustomed to this. Every single week, we're going to bring you a story of an athlete, an entertainer, an entrepreneur, a business owner, somebody competing, performing, attacking at the highest level of their performance, fueled by what we call the burn. You know, lots of coaches and speakers that do the work that we do, they talk about why and purpose, but they forget to talk about that burn, and it's that burn that ignites why and purpose that then causes you to be disciplined in your daily action, especially on those days when you just don't want to do it. And today, this is just an unbelievably cool connection for how Luis Manta and I met. So let me, before I bring Luis on, I got to just share this with you. So I go out to LA. Some of you might remember we decided before football season started last year that I was going to take a month off the road. I would do all virtual work, and we were going to rent a house in Laguna Beach so I could get a ton of family time. We're doing it again next year. It was so rewarding. And one of my great friends, David Meltzer, he said, hey, man, come down to SoFi Stadium and come out to my recording studio. We got to do some work together. Right? I said, absolutely. He says, so come by the studio. Our brand new show, The 2-Minute Drill. It's going to be entrepreneurs. They get to pitch us their ideas. I want you to be a judge. And I'm like, David, I am all in. What an amazing concept. Like, let's make it happen. So we film for the newest episode. We get on, and all of these entrepreneurs, they're sharing their ideas. They're competing. And here's Luis Manta. And this is my guy. I'm like, this is my kind of energy. I mean, Nashi, which is the pear, and you're going to learn about Seoul Juice, which is the most amazing pear juice you've ever tasted in your life. So Nashi is like behind his head. I mean, his environment was set up. His message was on point. He had his hat on, which you're going to see. He's still got the hat on today. I mean, this guy was on point. And Luis ends up winning the big prize, the $50,000 in prize money, and to help marketing and to help him grow his company for the 2-Minute Drill. And the beautiful part of this was he was a soccer player in St. Louis, right? So I'm in St. Louis. He was in St. Louis when he started his company because he had medical issues that came from dye that was in products. I'm not going to name any names here, but dye that was in a very popular product, and he got sick. And he said, how can I do this better? And he said, so I'm going to create pear juice. I mean, this is wild. This is why we encourage you when you connect to your burn and you have a I'm going to win mindset and you attack, it's amazing what you can achieve in your life. So he creates Soul Juice. And Soul Juice is pear juice. I mean, he has a patent on these pears. Nashi is one of these pears. I mean, it's unbelievable. So he's patented this drink. He makes this drink. He used to make it in his dorm room. He's bottling it himself. He's selling it. And now he's turned it into a company doing national distribution. So if you aren't fired up now on the burn to hear from somebody who took a dream and put it into reality because he didn't listen to the naysayers, he didn't listen to the people that said he couldn't, he listened to his beliefs every day and he put action behind it. You are going to love this I'm going to say young entrepreneur, this believer in his greatness, because this is what I love about this show. Is the fact that I can go spend time with David Meltzer, have the opportunity to meet Luis, and then be able to be here on the burn with all of you. So I hope you appreciate that introduction. Luis Manta, welcome to the burn.
Ben, what an amazing introduction. I'm smiling so hard right now from being a fan of the show, a fan of you, to now being on your show and get an introduction like that. I'm just very grateful and thank you so much. Really happy to be here and speak to your audience and hopefully motivate some people to do some great things with their life.
Well, I appreciate you because I want to give a little backstory, a little funny part of our connection. I kept having to reschedule. I mean, we're like scheduled, and that's when my father passes away and I get my staph infection. It's like I keep going back saying, man, I apologize. I got to reschedule. and you hung in there. So I appreciate it. Everything happens for the right reasons, and I couldn't be any more excited. And here's why: because I know so many people listen week after week after week. And a lot of times there are these stories where it's an athlete, it's an entertainer, it's a business owner doing $1 billion of revenue, 500 million of revenue. But you are like 2 years removed. And I know people say, yeah, but he still has national distribution, like the kid's doing it big. But 2 years ago, so take us back to 2 years ago. What were you thinking? What was the burn? What was your self-talk like? Like, take us back to the dorm room with you at St. Louis University.
Yeah, so I was a high level soccer player. I went and played in South America at a club called Nacional. I went to St. Louis University. In my opinion, the best college soccer program in the nation. Most people probably say it's top 5 to 3, but in my opinion, the most national championships. And I was a very, very high level soccer player, and that was my focus. You know, that was my burn, trying to become the best athlete I can possibly be. And both my parents grew up outside of the country. So I'm just very grateful to be in the U.S. and have every opportunity here and try and take advantage of my education, get a good education at SLU, and play at the highest level I possibly could. My sophomore year, like you said, allergic reaction to a common sports drink I'm sure everyone has, and it clicked in me and I was like, hey, I shouldn't be bursting out in hives. I should be able to breathe. Why is this product that I've been drinking my entire life, thinking it's making me better, actually making me worse? And I dove in and I was like, hey, I don't want any man-made ingredients. I just want natural stuff that comes from the earth that I know people have been putting in their bodies for hundreds of years, and I want to put that in my body. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna, and I hated coconut water. So started doing coconut water for a little bit. I plugged my nose, chug it, absolutely hated it. And I was like, there has to be something else. So I found the Korean pear. My mom grew up in Asia. I was accustomed to eating it. I was like, oh, had no idea the benefits of it. So I was like, all right, this is awesome. I'm going to start blending this in my dorm room, adding lemons, adding water. So that's it. It's just 3 ingredients: Korean pear, lemon, and water. That's it. And I just started giving it out to my friends. I'd use it for practice, give it out to my buddies for practice, pass it out outside of, I'm sure you're aware of Humphreys. I go to campuses and just pass it out, and it started getting some traction. And I quickly realized that a lot of the skills I'd built up as an athlete translated to being a business person. So my athletic career was coming to an end, but I realized waking up early every morning, studying film, practicing fundamentals, all those things I'd spent my entire 20 plus years of learning translated really, really well to the business world, and I was able to help scale this business. But honestly, 3 years ago, I was stocking groceries at a grocery store was what I was doing, and now we are a multi-million-dollar corporation. And like you said, it still feels like the beginning for me. We have 5 people on board now that are helping, great employees that are helping grow the business. But in my head, we're going. I'm not satisfied with where we're at today, and none of the employees are. We're working towards tomorrow and the next 5 years, just brick by brick.
So I love your story. It's why you had my vote hands down. It's like, we're behind the scenes, like, who do you vote? Who's first, second, third? I'm like, it's Luis. I mean, he's first, second, and third. I mean, that's the winner. I mean, there's no debating here. We turn off the cameras and you guys don't get to hear all that as the judge. So I'm like, that's the winner. I mean, I'm not just saying it because the guys from lived in St. Louis University. Like, that is the winner. But here's where I want you to take us to. Go a little bit deeper. What were you telling yourself when you were bagging groceries? Because that's the part where we all have dreams, we all have desires, and I think people fall short of putting action behind those dreams, right? Your uncle at a barbecue tells you pear juice, like, how could that? And it is absolutely delicious. I mean, like, incredible. So you think to yourself, like, my uncle's going to tell me, that's a silly idea. Nobody's ever going to buy that product. What was your self-talk like? What were people telling you? I mean, you were bagging groceries. It's like another St. Louis story. Kurt Warner was bagging groceries and then comes to the St. Louis Rams, becomes a Hall of Famer. There's movies about him now. I mean, it's just incredible. You were bagging groceries. What was your self-talk? What were you telling yourself then?
So I love taking I take this from Matthew McConaughey because he always says his hero is him in 10 years.
Mm.
So who is he trying to become? And when I made that transition from athlete to business owner, I quickly realized I didn't know the food industry. I was an expert at soccer. I knew all the tactics of soccer. I knew every single drill. I was a master at the fundamentals, but I didn't know anything about business. And I didn't know anything about the food industry. So the first thing I did was like, I need to go work in the food industry while I'm building this and learn. And you have to start somewhere, right? So first job, I was actually just shipping stuff. I'd get items in, I'd pack them up myself. I'd spend all day just shipping products out. Got every job I could. I was doing QA for chicken nuggets, so I'd just scrape the bread off. Pounds and pounds of chicken nuggets, making sure the breading ratio was good. Like you said, I was stocking shelves. So 3 years ago, I was actually stocking shelves at grocery stores during the pandemic, trying to build my business. It took me 5 years to get this product on shelf. So I went from just selling to random people, absolutely almost no sales, to now having national distribution. And it's kind of like you say, it's just laying. I know you talk about just laying bricks with your football teams and just building upon the next thing. It's just waking up every day, knowing what your goal is, and am I being true to myself, waking up every day trying to chase that goal. So I don't really. I mean, whether it's stocking shelves, whether it's scraping bread off chicken nuggets, I don't view it as that individual job. It's like, how am I making myself better for tomorrow? And would myself 5 years ago be proud of where I'm at? Am I holding myself accountable to the person 5 years ago that started this journey, that wanted to create a juice? Am I doing everything in my power to make that person proud? And then 5 years from now, am I doing everything today that's going to make the person 5 years from now proud as
I
well?
love it. I love it. Now, in order to make yourself proud, you have to be very disciplined on a daily basis. And we talk about it all the time on the show. There's so many people who tell you how great they want to be, but then you have a conversation with their action and you find out how bad they really want it. So you had this dream, you had this belief. How important has daily discipline been for you in order to achieve the things that you're achieving and to build the momentum that you've built?
Oh, it's huge. I know you quote Nick Saban about being the example all the time. And I call it something a little different. I call it being a professional champion,
Mm.
because when you're a champion, you have no one to compete against, right? You are in your head the top, but you know you have a huge target on your back. And every single person, every time they play you, their whole season is thinking about you. And you know they're going to bring their best. So you need to make sure every single day you're the champion, you're bringing your best, because you know someone's coming in there to take it from you. So in my mindset, since I was a soccer player, I wake up every day going, how can I be the best I personally can be? And I forget everything else. You know, everyone doesn't, you're not going to have the best skill set. You know, everyone has weaknesses, everyone has things they're not quite good at. But how can I make sure that I'm working as hard as I possibly can and using my skill set to be the best? And it's just that it's kind of, I don't really have like a chip on my shoulder about it. It's more of like gratitude at the opportunity. It's like, hey, I get to wake up today and I get to chase my dream. How am I pushing myself to chase that dream, kind of thing? And I think it's almost it's a little bit of a mortality thing too, where I know one day I'm probably not gonna, I might not have the physical ability to do this. I might not be around, but what am I doing today to make myself proud to try and chase my goals? And sitting there in gratitude about all the cool stuff I'm getting to do today?
It's awesome. I love it. A professional champion. And it's interesting to, whether it's a championship business or it's a championship athletic program, it's interesting. You can tell if everybody paid attention. St. Louis University, which a lot of people don't know, it is a big time soccer town. And St. Louis University is one of the most prolific soccer programs in the country, if not the best, as you mentioned. And so there's a mindset when you're in an environment like that. And so it's interesting how those big environments shape how you think. And so here's what I find to be so interesting. A lot of times people think, oh, well, if you work with, college football players, they all go to the NFL. It's like, no, they don't. Like, very few make it to the NFL. And I always share, like, when I'm with a team of 120 players or, any sport that I've been able to do work in, I always say, like, these are life messages. I want to share things that are lessons for life that you can take and go do whatever you want to do because you understand discipline. So it's awesome for me to hear that from you, that you did that, right? You said because of soccer and discipline, that same mindset applies to a company where I'm going to do this better than anybody else and make people say, what's that guy doing? Right? What is it that Luis does that I need to do? And you become the example. People start chasing you. It's fascinating because I say this all the time and I love it when you hear that here's this former athlete and all he did or all she did was take the discipline from sports and apply it to the next chapter of her life. It's awesome hearing this.
Oh yeah, and the goal is to always grow, and I'm sure you took things from being a financial advisor that now help you motivate athletes as well. As long as you're constantly growing and constantly building. I forgot who said this in your book, but they talked about being a Jeep driving on a racetrack or a race car driving on a
Yep.
racetrack, the kind of differences. And I just got to a point in my career where I knew my physical ability wasn't going. I mean, I made it to a very high level. I played internationally. I played at the best college soccer program, but I knew that next level just physically I wasn't going to make it, but it wasn't a loss. It was I built all these amazing skill sets that I could then take to business. So my Jeep that I was driving, I could then drive on the mountains and do really, really well because that skill set I built playing soccer was able to translate really, really well over to the real world. And then I continued to learn, right? Because I'd been driving on a racetrack my whole life. I wasn't accustomed to what the mountains brought. I had to go back to level one, figure out, find the fundamentals of that business, and then grow as a human being and learn a bunch of things, and then go on to the next part. And I'm sure I'd like to do Soul Juice forever. In my head, that's where I'm at, trying to grow it. But I'm sure maybe 20 years from now, when I'm on a different chapter of my life, I can then take all the stuff I learned from food and beverage, and then from soccer years prior, and then hopefully build an amazing career doing something next.
And that's the way that it works. Or it's you'll stay with Soul Juice, but everything that you learn causes the next idea that makes the next one grow even faster than the first one. And so it's just awesome hearing what you're doing. What excites you the most? Like what's something that people don't know about you that excites you that makes you even more fired up for the next level of growth for Soul Juice?
I just like motivating other humans and learning from other humans as well. So my big thing when I created Soul Juice was I realized all the chemicals that were in these sports drinks. I talked to other people and everyone's like, yeah, I don't know why there's not a natural product. A lot of people don't like coconut water. They're like, I'm not sure why there's not another natural product that tastes a little different that's on the market. And from just talking to other humans, and I was like, I want to help you guys because I need to help myself as well. So just learning, growing, and then helping other people is absolutely massive. So that's my goal, is hopefully just to create a company that keeps creating products that other people are looking for and can help them. So I'm hoping other young athletes, old athletes, people trying to be more conscious about their health, cut their sugar, add potassium. I'm trying to help them. So whatever product we come out with next is going to be from other people telling us, hey, there's not this on the market. We really kind of need this. I want to bring value to those people and help them accomplish their goals. That's what motivates me.
All right, so let's help some people today with the importance of hydration. We'll finish with this. I think it's important for people to really understand how this works. So you mentioned a very very popular product that had dye and unnatural things that caused a reaction for you. Maybe others have had that reaction. And so you wanted to create an all natural product. Now, the reason why you were drinking the other product was for hydration, right? So whether you're an individual doing 75 hard, getting in those two workouts and realizing your energy's being depleted, your body's being depleted, you need to hydrate, or an athlete who's looking for something that they actually like the taste, they need the hydration, they don't want chemicals either. How important is hydration, and how how great for you, right, to have been able to use this as an athlete for you for hydration. But what's the importance of hydration and how Soul Juice can be used to fuel hydration for an athlete or that individual at 75 hard or that person looking for that boost of energy in the middle of their day?
Oh, 100%. So 80% of Americans don't get enough potassium in their daily diet. And they only get 30% of what they need. So most people listening to this podcast do not get enough potassium. Potassium helps your muscles. It keeps you from cramping. Your heart's a muscle. So in order to pump the blood it needs to do that cardio that you're doing, you need potassium to help your body. It's the fuel you need, along with sodium, calcium, all your electrolytes. That's what your body runs on, is these electrolytes. So Soul Juice naturally replaces those electrolytes that you're losing when you sweat, when you're going about your day, and your body needs it to run. So that's what I tell people. Everyone needs, whether you're competing at the highest level or you're just going about your daily tasks, you need to make sure you're replenishing that potassium because your body's excreting it through sweat. So every single person can use it, and a lot of people don't want sugar, right? Because sugar is like a bad word right now. People are consuming way too much sugar, way too much carbohydrates. So what's great about Soul Juice is it's half the sugar of every other juice and has twice the nutrients. So you're getting all the nutrients you need and none of the bad stuff, and we're not adding anything else. This is all from the earth. This is all things your body for hundreds of years has been naturally processing. We're not adding it in. You're not peeing it out like most people do with most of the supplements they get in. This is going straight into your body and you're using it for energy right away.
I love it. I love your passion. I love your mission. I love your belief in yourself and the action and the discipline you've taken to achieve what you've achieved. I can't wait to continue to partner and to help. It's amazing how things happen, to meet on David Meltzer's 2 minute drill, and here we are to be able to hang out on the burn. It just keeps a big smile on my face. I look forward to watching you continue to grow. How can people stay connected to your mission, your journey, and learning more and having the opportunity to get Soul Juice in their refrigerator?
Yeah, so www.souljuice, you can see it right there, .com, SEOULJUICE, and then at Soul Juice is all our socials. So that's where you guys can find us. And then also for all the listeners, we'll do a discount code, 20% off our website if you use the code BURN. So
Oh,
we'll
that's
use the
awesome.
code BURN for all the listeners, and we'll give them 20% off on that. And yeah, big shout out to David Meltzer. Thank you for giving me a huge inflection point, introducing me to Ben, a hero of mine. I listened to the podcast, and now I'm on it. This is pretty surreal for me.
Well, Luis, I am just, I'm so appreciative of you, your story, your passions, your fight. And this is what I love about the burn. It's the opportunity to hear stories like yours. So I'm so appreciative as well for David Meltzer and the impact that he's having, which was the catalyst for making this happen. And I know Soul Juice is just scratching the surface of the impact that you're going to have and the difference you're going to make for people's health around this entire country and the world. So thank you so much for joining us on the burn.
Thank you, Ben. Really appreciate it.
To each and every single one of you listening, we are going to drop that code in the call notes. We're going to drop the social media. You've got to stay connected to Soul Juice, and you have to stay connected to your burn. This isn't one of those things that it's a maybe I'll do it. Staying connected to your burn is the difference. Some of you might be in that I'm bagging groceries and the vision seems too big. You are so close to your dreams coming true. Share this episode with somebody that needs to hear that maybe they're close but doubting themselves on their dreams. And then encourage them, just like for you, stay connected to that burn. Allow it to ignite the why and purpose that then causes you to be disciplined in your action one day at a time. We appreciate the opportunity to be part of your journey on a weekly basis with these episodes of The Burn. You know we're going to keep bringing you these episodes. We're going to keep bringing you these amazing stories, and maybe your story will be heard on The Burn soon. I appreciate all of you. Don't ever forget, we are in this fight together. Stay connected to your burn, get your soul juice, and we will see you next week.